How's it going, guys? Welcome to another episode of SSR's Garage. It's been a while since I recorded. I've been doing a lot of work on other people's vehicles. I worked on my sister's and my nephew's, and now I'm finally getting back to working on mine, so that'll be nice. I've been waiting to record this video because I wanted to get some stuff in line. Over the last couple weeks, I've actually had some help. My nephew and his roommate Brandon came over to help me work on my car, and they'd never welded before, so I figured it's a perfect opportunity to get them in my car and welding up some of those floor pan holes. So if I can manage to get the video off this GoPro behind me, you'll see that here. Otherwise, you're just gonna take my word for it. I did record some of it on the GoPro. I don't know what it's gonna look like, so we'll find out together in just a minute. I actually recorded in time lapse off the GoPro a bunch of footage of me working on my back window, and that was my bad because it ended up taking 13,000 pictures instead of actually recording in time lapse. So apparently time lapse means a little something to GoPro than it means to me and Apple. Apple does time lapse perfectly fine. GoPro, not what I thought. So I'll get a couple of those pictures out and we'll put them in now. When I was doing that back window, that thing is a major pain in the butt, and let me tell you, it has a ton of scratches in it. That thing is scratched up. I mean, they're deep, and it's all on the outside. I don't know if somebody decided to pour gravel over top of my car and just wash down the back, you know, with a nice coating of gravel. I have no idea how it got so scratched up, but it is scratched like a cat with diamond claws climbed all over the back of my car. It's weird. Good news is the channel in my car is pretty rust free. You'll see video of me taking out the butyl from that channel, and it should go right back in. I still need to get the rest of the butyl out. I want to make sure it's good and clean before I put the new stuff in, but I'm ready to get the butyl and put that stuff in. It's actually in stock at my local AutoZone, so I'll put that butyl in. You guys will see that. Maybe not in this video. Definitely not in this video. But most important part of this video is right now. So let me turn the camera around and introduce you to my 461. Welcome, guys, to my new engine. Let's pull the cover off this bad boy. I got it sitting kind of cockeyed. There she is in all her glory. Bored out all perfect. She's looking pretty. She's a little dusty. A little dusty. I gotta get some stuff off of her. Gotta clean her up before I get crazy. Still got some masking on for where the oil pump goes. But you can tell just by looking at her that she is gonna be a beaut. I absolutely love the Pontiac blue with the brass casting plugs in the side. I just think it looks fantastic. I definitely want to go brass. You can go with regular steel colored, you know, but I mean, you won't see these in the back, but the brass just looks awesome. And my oil pan is zinc coated on the bottom, so it's kind of the same color. You can see it up there. You'll see it. You'll see it when it's all said and done. Below my engine, my block, should I say, below my block is my crank. Now, this is a stock Pontiac 400, or was. It's now been bored 35 thousandths over stock, and I bought a Eagle stroker kit. So I have an Eagle 4 1/4 inch stroke crank. I have Eagle. These are actually big block Chevy rods. Eagle forged I-beam rods. They're actually good for 700 horse, according to Eagle. I won't be making 700 horse, but you know, the thought is nice. And then I have my Maul forged pistons. And these things are beauts. I mean, they're just great. I love them. These are negative 22 dish. So with the negative 22 dish piston that I have, and the, I think my heads are 72 cc chamber. What I have to do is get them installed. I'm going to install one piston and one after I install the crank, I got to install one piston and rod, and I'm going to measure the deck clearance. I'm going to see how close to the top of this deck my piston comes, and then I got to add in the weight, or I'm sorry, I got to add in the thickness of my head gasket, and then I can actually do a calculation to see exactly what my compression ratio is going to be. And we're shooting for somewhere between 9.5 to 10. It's technically 9.8. I would prefer to be a lot closer to 10, or just a little over 10 to 1 than I'd rather be to 9.5. I don't really want to be 9.5. I'd rather be 10 and have to run special gas if I get pinging. So I don't know if you can see this, but inside that block there, you know, because of the larger crank, they had to do a little bit of clearancing, if you will. So also on the table, I got a couple things for you guys to look at. What we have here is my assembly lube. I'm going to be using the AMS oil assembly lube. I bought that special from my local dealer. ARP fastener lube. You can't put a motor together without that stuff, especially when I have ARP main studs and I have ARP head studs. Everything I have is ARP, and I mean everything. I'll be using this All-Star Performance rod guide to get my rods down the inside of my cylinders without actually scratching or touching is the most important part. I don't want them touching my cylinders at all. So this is cheap. Really, for what it does, this is cheap, and you guys will see me use this. This guy is my piston ring square tool. So this will go into the cylinder walls, and because all my rings are file fit, I actually need to square the rings up with the cylinders. And this little tool right here will ensure that I will have a square piston ring every time I measure it. And I don't want there to be any problems with me filing rings. And I have my file all set up over here, ready to go. You know, just a little bit of that action. Got my file all set up, ready to file some of these rings. All the rings are in here. They're actually in this box here. They're all, Maul does a really nice job. So I've messed with Total Seal, and this is my first go around with Maul, and I gotta hand it to Maul. I really like how they've done it here. They really took the guesswork out of it. I mean, you guys want to tell me which one is the number one ring, aka the top ring? You know, it's really easy. Like, it doesn't get more simple than that, right? Number one ring, number two ring, and the oil rings for all 8 cylinders. I mean, I really appreciate that. It's the little things that just knock it out of the park for me. And, you know, when me and my buddy did his Cleveland and he had Total Seal pistons, I got to be honest, we could not. And everybody's like, oh, the marking's up and you can tell which rod. No, they were cast rings. There was no markings on one piston at all, or one piston ring at all, which means basically either side can go up. But what we weren't sure about is which one was number one, number two. At any rate, I don't have to worry about that because Maul has taken care of that for me. I'm going with the 2-piece BOP rear main seal. Now, this is definitely aftermarket. This is the stock rope seal. Now, I don't know about you guys, but it's 2020. I'm not using a rope seal on my motor. That is the stock. This is stock. This is what comes out. And these are very kind of stiff and rigid. You can see I don't know if that's graphite. I really don't know. I don't care. I'm going with newfangled rear main seal. This is my ring compressor. I bought a ring compressor from Summit so that I don't have to guess. I can just go ahead and put this right on my engine and push the rod with the guide straight through, and I don't have to sit there and dinkle dank with a dang ring compressor. You know, I can just put that thing right on. I got an old school ring compressor sitting right up there, and that's where it's gonna stay. We're using this bad boy. So that's kind of the rundown of the old Pontiac. She's gonna get put together now. And yeah, sorry, my gloves. Yeah, big shocker. These are my rod bearings. No big deal. Just Cleveite rod bearings. So first things first. First thing I have to do is install that rear main seal. So I got to flip this bad boy over, and I got to take all my rear main caps off. I'll set them down on the table, keep everything nice and clean, and then I got to install that rear main seal. I got to measure everything up, make sure it clears. It has very specific instructions. I have to fill the anti-rotation holes that are actually in the, I believe just the cap. I don't think I have to do the block side. I have to fill the anti-rotation holes with a little bit of silicone. Not a lot. It's very minimal, but not a lot. Once I get that done and measured and made sure that it's going to be fine, I'll go ahead and install the crank, and that's when we can do one rod and one piston and start measuring our deck clearance, because that is going to be the most important. The deck clearance, for me, that's going to tell the tale. Once I know the deck clearance, I'll start filing every ring. Once I file every ring, I'll start putting all the rings on the pistons, and we can start sliding these bad boys in there. Once I get all the pistons and rings in there and set, I'll slide my cam in. I should actually, now that I'm saying this out loud, I should start my lifter soak right away. I want to soak my lifters in the oil that they're going to be ran in at first, so that they're not dry when I stick them in. I know some people don't do that. Some people do. I definitely am. It can't hurt. It absolutely can't hurt. Some people take them right out of the box. Just throw some assembly lube on there and jam them right in there. Not my style. Not my style at all. So I'll be soaking my lifters. The only thing I don't have just yet, well, I pick up my heads hopefully tomorrow, but I don't have push rods. I still need to measure my push rods. So my plan as of right now, once I get this all put together, is to actually, just for temporary, throw in an old push rod. I just want to see where the rocker arms land on the valves. Because if they land square and right where they're supposed to, I'm just going to reorder some comp cams or some other, high performance equivalent push rod. And then I don't have to worry about it. But otherwise, if they don't, then I got to get a push rod checker if I didn't already order that. I honestly can't remember what I ordered. I know that sounds crappy, but I can't remember what I ordered. You just end up ordering too much stuff. You know what I mean? I've ordered a ton of stuff. I mean, look at that shelf behind me. It's insane. It really is. Oh man, I was zoomed in. I bet my face was huge. No? Yes? Yes? No? No? Oh, I was good. Well, I bet everybody's wondering about this guy. This is my 2003 4Runner that I bought from a coworker, 2 years ago. I'm working on it. You'll see it. Right now, it's just my painting surface. Runs like a top. I know that doesn't sound funny, or that doesn't sound real, but I swear to God, it'll start right now. I'll start it. I move it in and out of the driveway all the time. I have all the parts to fix it. You will see this on my channel. I know everybody might be freaking out on the paint on the hood. I got a brand new hood sitting right there on top of my son's R32. Pay no attention to that. That'll probably be on the channel too. But this guy will get going. It's kind of second on the list. And then I got my daughter's car that needs to be fixed. That's on the list. And then my car, which she actually has right now, she went to some store, I don't even know. And you'll see that on the list on the channel as well. So I think that about does it. Let's get to work. Of course. Need a friggin' zip tie for this thing, let me tell you. It's just gonna keep falling like that. Yeah. Can you guys hear that bird? What the heck is that? These are the anti-rotation holes I was talking about. You can see them here. Now I'm just dry fitting because I actually got to measure how much of this sticks out. You can see it's a little less than flush right there, but you can see it sticking out right here. I got to measure that and see how much is actually sticking out here, because I can't have that much sticking out. So let's measure. $110. That's it. All right, guys, that does it for this episode of SSR's Garage. Join me for the next one when you're going to see me putting this bad boy together. I am excited. I registered for the Coeur d'Alene Cruise on July 17th. So fingers crossed I make that. Don't miss it. I mean, you guys, if you're local to the area and you're not going to Ron's Drive-In every Saturday at, I think it's 6:30 or 7, and seeing all the cars there, man, you are just not living. You're not living. I don't care if there's a pandemic happening right now or not. You've got to get yourself out there and see those cars. And Coeur d'Alene this year is going to be epic because I think once all this whole thing blows over, people are just going to be dying to do stuff. So thanks for joining me this episode. If you like the content, please like, share, subscribe. I'll post as much as I can. With work and other projects, I end up getting a little backed up, but you know, bear with me. Doing the best I can. I'm one dude. Let me leave you a little something. How about this? Keep right except to pass, you animals. What's your problem? Keep right except to pass. You know, you had to take a test to get your license. Like, you should probably practice. You know, maybe I'm crazy. All right, keep right except to pass, and I'll see you next time. Bye.